Destruction AllStars, a PlayStation 5 exclusive that was meant to launch with the PlayStation 5, has now been pushed back to February 2021. Although, the good news is about that is that it will be free with PlayStation Plus when it comes out for 2 months. So that's pretty good. I don't remember any console launch being this weird. Obviously, COVID is a factor in all of this, but I feel like this needs to be said. There's enough games on the PlayStation 5 that you don't need launch exclusives to justify your purchase, let alone even argue that there's a reason to buy it. We all like to bring out the argument, what exclusives does the console have for me to buy it? And it's like, you don't really need one. There's plenty of games to play. Let's look at the new games that are coming out for the PlayStation 5. Just the new ones. Assassin's Creed Valhalla, Astro's Playroom, which is coming, installed on every PlayStation 5. Demon's Souls, the remake. Destiny 2 Beyond Light. Devil May Cry 5 Special Edition. Godfall, Observer System Redux. Sackboy: A Big Adventure. Spider-Man Miles Morales. That's just the new games. There's plenty to play there. But you know what? Maybe, let's just say, you didn't want to play any of those. You still got some games to play that you could play on the previous console, but there's a reason to upgrade to the next ones, because you could still play Watch Dogs Legion, Borderlands 3, NBA 2K21, Planet Coaster, Dirt 5, Just Dance 2021, Black Ops Cold War, The Pathless. There's just a lot of games to play. You don't need any extra reason to buy the console. You either want the console or you don't. I feel like the launch of the Nintendo Wii is probably the closest equivalent that we're getting with the PlayStation 5. Obviously, there's some nuance with the launch of the Nintendo Wii. Nintendo was holding stock back. People who didn't traditionally buy games were interested in the Nintendo Wii. But the principle of what was going on with the Nintendo Wii and who was still buying it, as far as gamers are concerned, that still applies here. Here's just some of the games that launched with the Nintendo Wii. Wii Sports, which came with it. Excite Truck. The Legend of Zelda Twilight Princess, which launched at the same time on the GameCube. Call of Duty 3. Tony Hawk's Downhill Jam. Marvel Ultimate Alliance. Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 2. Trauma Center Second Opinion. Madden NFL 07. Rampage Total Destruction. Happy Feet. Avatar, The Last Airbender, and the list goes on of mediocre to decent games. That's what launched on the Nintendo Wii. There was about 21, 22 games there. Not a lot. Nintendo Wii still sold a bunch, even without launch games. Why? Because you knew what was coming. You knew the Nintendo Wii was going to have its next Mario. You knew Nintendo Wii was going to have its next Zelda. You knew it was going to have its next Smash. You knew Metroid Prime Corruption was going to be a thing. That's what was most important. So people bought it off the fact that, it doesn't have any exclusives now, but it will have exclusives later. PlayStation 5 is the same way. It doesn't have some games now. Granted, still has got some potential bangers, but you lost Destruction AllStars. Cyberpunk got pushed back, but you know what? You still got God of War coming. You still have Horizon Forbidden West coming. You got Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart coming, Outriders, Gran Turismo, Deathloop, etc. You know what's coming. So you don't have any special new game to play now, but you still got stuff coming. The same argument could be made for the Series X. No launch exclusives, but you know what's coming. You know there's going to be Halo. You know there's going to be Forza. You know there's going to be Fable. You may not want them, but you know they're coming. The thing is, too, backwards compatibility has made all the difference here. With the Nintendo Wii, let's say you didn't want any of those games. Let's say you didn't want Twilight Princess. Let's just say you couldn't even afford some of these games. You could play every GameCube game, nearly every GameCube game, minus some that had some certain interesting compatibility stuff like Four Swords, Zelda Four Swords or something. You could play dang near every GameCube game on there. So you buy the Nintendo Wii, say you still had a GameCube back catalog that you haven't caught up with. Well, guess what? You can still play it while you wait for your next Smash, while you wait for your next Mario or your next Zelda. The same thing here. Yes, thankfully, PlayStation still has Spider-Man Miles Morales, for example. But let's say you didn't want those. You still have a huge back catalog of PlayStation 4 games, or at least PlayStation 4 games that can be upgraded to PlayStation 5 that you can still play while you wait for your next God of War or your Horizon Forbidden West, or you saving up money for Spider-Man Miles Morales, whatever the case may be. Not to mention, you have the PlayStation Plus collection, which comes with some third-party and exclusive PlayStation games that were released during the PlayStation 4 era. You're set. Like, the idea a console doesn't have to have launch exclusives, just it doesn't hold the same weight anymore. If the next generation ends up being similar to this generation, this argument might be able to just be the new argument, because you know what's coming and there's plenty to play. And I guarantee you haven't played all the games that you want to play. Maybe you did. You're on the other side of the bell curve, on the rare. Most other people, they haven't played everything. And that's okay, but there's still so much to play. This was a good generation of games. There's a lot to play. So because it's a new generation and because the business models are a little bit different, there's so much backwards compatibility, we got to evaluate this a little bit different. It's a new generation and it requires new ways to evaluate this business. One thing I want to mention is that I get the fact that people might be disappointed Destruction AllStars is delayed, or, or even whatever game that has been delayed. Like, I'm not trying to diminish the disappointment that comes with that. I'm just saying, if you still want to buy the PlayStation 5, buy it. Like, don't wait unless you're trying to save money. But that shouldn't be a reason to be like, I guess I'll just wait for the PlayStation. No, go get it now, because you can still play your PlayStation 4 games, most of them. And you're still going to get Destruction AllStars later. You're still going to get Spider-Man Miles Morales later. You're still going to get the next Horizon, the next God of War. Like, there's still a reason to buy the PlayStation 5 if you're in it for that. Obviously, Destruction AllStars is not going to be the game breaker for a lot of people, but the idea that a game is delayed shouldn't prevent you from buying the console that you're interested in, unless you're just saving up money for it. But if you got the money and you're already prepared to buy it, buy it. So, how do you feel about the PlayStation 5 having one less launch exclusive? And in fact, do you believe it's absolutely necessary these consoles have launch exclusives as well? Tell me what you're thinking in the comments below. Please tap that thumbs up if you enjoyed the video. And speaking of the PS5, we have unboxed the PlayStation 5 and the DualSense controller. We also have a video on Astro's Playroom, as well as more insight into the DualSense controller. We also have more next-gen reveals coming soon, as well as more topics on the latest gaming news. My name is Anthony. Thank you for watching. I'll talk to you later.